This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview. Joining us today is Aidan Bishop, the Executive Director of Bluebird Merchant Ventures, following the announcement of the commencement of work necessary for obtaining a declaration of mining project feasibility for the Lobo gold mining target within the Batangas project area in the Philippines. Well, thank you very much for joining us today. Aidan, how are you?
Very well, thank you. Good to be back on Stockbox.
Indeed. Well, thank you indeed for your time. Seems to me, reading this RNS this morning, that I've never actually heard of a declaration of mining project feasibility, and it seems like there's a lot of work involved, but it definitely looks like things are starting to move over for the Batangas project there. So could you perhaps just take us through what that means, that DMPF? There's a lot of elements involved from reading the RNS.
A declaration of mining project feasibility is an approval that you are required to get from the Philippine government if you want to take a mining project into production. So it's a feasibility study that is designed to demonstrate the economic viability of a mining project, that it must have a minimum of a 10-year mine life, and the economics of that project will be detailed in the Declaration of Mining Project Feasibility. So it's a technical study, a whole bunch of work streams that are comprised of that study. So including met work, metallurgy work, about processing methods, recovery, and so forth. There'll be some geotechnical drilling, which is different from resource drilling. That's really designed to determine ground conditions below surface. There'll be topographical studies. There'll be studies around processing of waste management, all of that type of thing that will be in the Declaration of Mining Project Feasibility. So once that is completed and you go through a technical process with the government and it is approved, then you have that permission, which sits alongside the environmental compliance certificate, which is the other key permission, and now you are able to take your project into the construction and production phase. So really what we're looking for here is, over the next months, is the work streams that are coming out of that process, but it will result in an updated economic understanding and an economic picture of what the Batangas Gold Project is going to look like. Now, there was one sort of done in 2014-15, a long time ago, but this is an updated study, and it's going to be pretty accurate as to what the economics might be. So, yeah, it's a significant piece of work.
And this sounds like it's very specific to the government of the Philippines. Is that right?
Well, not technically. Well, as its name, a declaration of mining project feasibility, yes. However, any mining project that is going into production will undertake a feasibility study. So all of the work streams that are in the DMPF, you would see in any other feasibility study of a project that's going into production. So in that sense, it is not unique, although the naming of it is, it's a key permission that is, relates to the Philippines.
Okay, yeah. And this is fully funded, isn't it, alongside your joint venture partner, because effectively BMV have a free carry on this project?
Yeah, that's correct. So BMV has a free carry until the Declaration of Mining Project Feasibility and the Environmental Compliance Certificate have been approved. And so we're ready to go into production. So basically mining decision to mine. So we're free carried on that. The local partner is undertaking all of the funding to make that happen.
Funded all the way until that feasibility study is complete. And then that would lead to further studies, would it, Aidan, or would it be a decision to go into production at that point?
No, there will be no further studies. So the Declaration of Mining Project Feasibility, that's your technical study. There's your economics. You're ready to go into mining on that basis, into the construction. Okay. You've got a complete understanding of the economics of going into production, what the returns are going to be looking like, and so forth. That sits alongside the environmental compliance certificate. So when you've got those two things, you are now given the green light to move this mine into production, and so we are free carried until that point. So that is a huge milestone to be free carried towards. So that's great news for Bluebird not to take on those costs and that process. So I mean, if we stated in the RNS that we expect it to be completed within 6 to 9 months, the reality is that the local partner really wants to push this as fast as possible, and it could even be completed within 4 months. That's on the optimistic side. So we stated in the RNS a bit of leeway, 6 to 9 months there, but there's a clear timetable of events that will take place over the next 4 months. So we're looking, the local partner, I'd say, is looking to complete all of that within the next few months. So that's going to be fantastic if they achieve that.
Very good. Yes, that would put you nicely through the summer there into the when people get back to their desks in the autumn to perhaps have that completed. You mentioned about the next sort of few months, a timeline of events. So do you think you'll be able to keep shareholders or interested parties updated on the various milestones as this work is being done?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like in the RNS that we did last week around the Gubong joint venture, I think Colin made a statement in the CEO statement around news flow that's going to increase as a result, and I think that was reiterated again yesterday. So, what we intend to do is update shareholders on a frequent basis as to how that declaration of mining project feasibility, the work that's taking place, how that's progressing, and the same thing with the environmental impact assessment and that process. So yeah, there's activity taking place, and it's all looking very promising.
Good. And just a final point I want to just talk about with you, of course, to CEO Colin Patterson, who you mentioned. I think his comments in the RNS on this news here was he was sort of emphasizing the momentum of the project and highlighting the potential for leveraging, of course, the favorable gold market conditions alongside the South Korean ventures. And I mean, you said the last economic picture that you had of Batangas was around 2014. Well, of course, what was gold around that price? Certainly not where it is now.
That's right. So I think this is a great time for Bluebird. You've got the gold price being at all-time highs, so sentiment is obviously improving across the sector. But if the gold price continues to stay where it is or even climb higher, by the time we're actually extracting gold out of the ground, then we're actually, sentiment gets translated to actually making money, and ultimately that's what it's all about. So it's a great time, and I think it really demonstrates. There's a good lesson here for investors. That I remember in 2017, Bluebird signed up the Korean gold projects. Gold was about $1,000 an ounce, and no one was too excited about gold. So it's very easy to jump in and out of projects if you're just going to be tossed to and fro by either prices of metal or of sentiment. So there's something to be said of staying in something over the long terms, over the valleys, and there's certainly been a few of those in the life of Bluebird. But certainly, I think we would have to say that Bluebird is in the best position it's probably ever been in. That we've got a joint venture partner that's investing in Gubong to the tune of $5 million. We've got a joint venture partner in Batangas that's taking us to a decision to mine. We're also trying to do the same thing at Kochang. So, I'm optimistic that over the next, in the short term, that we're going to be in a position to be able to have 3 free carries on our projects at a time when the gold price is its highest, at a time when sentiment is improving. And if this can carry us into production, it's all good news.
Indeed. Well, thank you very much for your time today, Aidan Bishop, the Executive Director of Bluebird Merchant Ventures, and I'm hoping you'll be keeping us entertained and informed throughout the summer.
Thank you, Mark.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stopboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.